Have you had those days so good that they just squeeze a little too much some, but in a good way, pushing through your eyelids, though you might try and shut them tightly, and there's no way to fend off goodness. How could you?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Music for Good. Today we have with us Vasundhara Vee. She's a bankable name in the Western music circle in India. She is seen as the finest soul, R&B, and jazz ensemble in the capacity of both curator and collaborator. Vasundhara taps into the intricacies of music to create events about joy and personal humanity and self-love. So, welcome, Vasundhara. We're extremely glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Prachi.
So, Vasundhara, tell us about your early background. Like, what made you enter the world of Western music?
I've always been singing since I was a child, and I've been singing actively. My family has a big role in this because they caught on to the fact that I could sing. So they made me sing regularly, either under mentorship from someone or in school. And so I've been singing regularly since I was 3 years old. And what that could have given me was, a certain heads up in terms of time spent with the instrument, which is voice. And when I was around 15, I was also wondering who I am. And, that's the time where people are trying to figure out their identity and all that. And and I felt music defined me, and I wanted to do it forever. So I decided quite early. I was just about 15 years old. And I've just stuck with music since then.
So, how did you move from Delhi to Bombay and get so much into Western music? Like, you had the option of going for the Indian classical or the other genres, but what made you choose jazz and R&B?
I can say I made a choice about Western forms of music, but I did not choose jazz. What that means is basically that, when I was a kid, our singing education was quite mixed. We used to, sing in different languages. There was a mixed curriculum in school. So that gave me the opportunity to choose. And what I noticed is I could connect better because I used to think in English, and this was something we used to speak in English at home, and I was much more fluent in English than I was in the other languages that I speak, which is Bengali, Hindi, etc. So I felt a depth of connection simply because I was more comfortable with the language. And after that, my social circle was the choir. And we all used to do, gospel and pop and rock and all sorts of Western paradigm music. So that's why I ended up kind of developing my identity around that, because that sound became my happy place. And as far as, R&B and jazz is concerned, well, I started getting booked to sing jazz gigs. So I didn't really choose it. I kind of fell into it. And even now, even though I've been struggling to kind of balance the two, my heart is with soul music and with blues and all. But I still get like a lot of work in the jazz circuit.
So, tell us more about your book. Like, it made it to the top 5 on Amazon. So just tell us what made you write this book, and what were you expecting out of the book? Like,
So, Prachi, when I was 15 and I decided to do music, I had made that one decision, but I didn't know how to go about it. And it was just a series of, ooh, Oh, sorry. It was just a series of, hits and misses. Like I was making one decision, maybe it was not the best, making another, not knowing what the next logical step is. And there are so many different opinions in the music community that, you follow one, you follow the other, and everybody seems to be equally experienced. So I was like kind of going around in circles, and I'd always wished that there was a book or something to consult, which had a combination of everyone's ideas and examples and experience and all that. So now it's been about 15 years, more than 15 years that I've been singing professionally, and so I thought it was the right time for this book to exist. And also, as far as what I want the book to do is that I want it to be that that guidebook for all young musicians and all new musicians, because there are many things, many factors to growing a career and to even starting out as a professional. And that includes financial, a certain financial sensibility. It includes how to understand when to debut yourself, what the different kinds of debuts are, how you fit into the music industry, because not everybody fits on stage actually. And the industry is really very vast.
Yeah.
So, so that's what the role of the book is. And I've also interviewed people so that the book would not just be a bunch of opinions from me.
Right.
And they're eminent people who have been around for long and who've created success and created wealth in music. And that's why, I felt that it would be a wholesome sort of a read. And more than that, the thing that I wish for people to do is to answer the questions I've asked them. Because it's very important to answer the questions and to arrive at your own answers. Just getting someone's ideas and experiences and opinions not enough, because it works differently for everyone.
Right.
So yeah, so that's the whole point of it. And I really hope like people can like many more people can grow careers, because we have so much talent here.
So when am I getting a signed copy?
Good question. It's still in the ebook form right now, and I'm going to make physical copies. I'm now that the lockdown and all is much more relaxed, so I'm going to launch physical copies, and of course I'll send you one.
Yeah. So D and I have had this conversation where he's told me about how you use your voice and your singing as a form of healing, as a form of therapy. So could you tell me what role you think music plays when it comes to therapy and therapeutic purposes?
Yeah. So the important distinction is that I'm not a therapist, but I've noticed that training your voice to be more free has a therapeutic effect. So the therapeutic aspect, it kind of happens naturally to people because we allow things. So the entire idea behind the method that I'm trained in and the method that I train people in is that your voice is a symptom. Your voice is an outcome of what's happening inside. So that can happen at a muscular level and that can happen at a mental level. And the combination of the two reflects in your voice. So this sounds very like philosophical and all, but if you're not happy, a person can tell. If you're lying, a person can tell. If you're scared or angry, a person can tell. So all that actually comes under tonality, the tone of your voice. The voice reflects your state. So for a singer, this is very important, not only from a technical standpoint, but also as an artist, because at the end of the day, our job is to express things in a very lucid and in a way that people can believe us. So the two positive side effects of the kind of training that I do is that you become you know how to regulate your emotions and your voice together, and your vocal longevity is better, and you know that you can sing a rock song and a pop song and a gospel song and any kind of music. In fact, many of my uh, people who I'm training are Indian classical singers too, because it goes beyond genre, it goes beyond paradigm, and it's all about how you unleash your voice.
What are your views on music helping people with mental illnesses, like for example people who have depression, people who have anxiety? What do you think, how can they use music to improve their lives or lead them to a spiritual path?
What I noticed, so there are two things. One is artistry, performance, and the other is music therapy. I don't know about music therapy, I'm not a therapist, but uh, art has an impact on people. Number one, when a person experiences awe, then what I think is that it gives them hope. When they know that there's something big, like, people love to go to the ocean or to the mountains, they see something huge and they feel that everything is minimized. All their problems are smaller now. When people experience awe, I also feel that they get hope that not everything is mediocre, not everything is negative, and something beautiful can happen, something powerful can happen in this world. So I feel at an emotional level, that's what people instinctively get. Then there is the aspect of empathy, which is an extremely healing experience. Because, today, if I'm connecting to you, you and I are feeling together, even though we've never met.
Yeah.
And and when we're agreeing, then we feel that, we're not alone. There are two people who can feel the same thing. So songs open up, they're this gateway to empathy between the artist and the listener, and that innately has a healing function. That I've been here, you must have heard so many songs where you heard the song and said, wait, this song is exactly about me.
Yeah.
That's it. So you are automatically less isolated, and that lovely smile that came across your face as soon as you remembered the song is that relief, that sudden spark of joy. So I feel these things are very healing things, even though they are very common things, but they are powerful. And even at a physiological level, now I would like to tell you that I've had my own mental health struggles, and I am in therapy. I've been in therapy for the last 4 years. And so I'm noticing both the processes, what singing does for me and what therapy does for me. And therapy is extremely powerful. But singing also allows for a release, because, what I've learned is that the body stores memories, the body stores emotions. And singing can effectively pull that out and release it in an expressive form.
Yes.
And it's extremely, extremely cleansing. It's extremely relieving. Just like we dance and we feel very light and relieved, same thing. Singing is like dancing.
I'm so glad that it has helped you the way it has. Tell us about your plans considering the COVID situation right now. What are your present plans, and what are your plans for the future?
Mm-hmm. Well, I used the COVID time to actually finish the book and to publish it. So that was the first half of it. And now I'm focusing on singing more. Today I just came back from a whole day of recording on my friend's album. And and I'm also releasing music with Markaba. We've already got a song out, another one coming out in a few days. So we'll be releasing a lot of music over the next 1 year. And uh, musically, that's the plan, to just put out stuff now. And as my uh, personal project, I do teach singers, especially professional singers. I coach them so that they can have an easier time singing and they can develop their voices. So as personal fulfillment, I do that. And I mean, I think I'm going to keep doing that after the lockdown as well.
So, is there anything else you would like to add?
I just feel that since we've spoken about this bunch of things, the only thing that's coming to mind for me right now, especially if young musicians are going to watch this, it's that a career is possible for everyone. We just need to find what our spot is in the music industry and in the ecosystem. And the second thing is that personal growth is really, really important. So now is the time to, start journaling and writing how you want your life to look. And then you want to define your success around that definition of your life. So I want everybody at the end of this talk to actually write down what success looks like for them and what a happy life looks like for them. And I'm sure that there's going to be a certain revelation, because the two things cannot be at odds with each other.
Right.
In fact, you need to do it the opposite way. First, you define what is a happy life for you, and then you'll plug music into all the activities that feed that life, and it's going to be brilliant. Do you sing? Are you a singer? Are you a musician?
I'm a singer. I'm a very bad singer. So don't ask me to sing.
No, I'm not asking you to sing. Okay, what are your questions? What are your main questions about, pursuing music?
So being, I mean, I'm not a trained singer per se, but I do have my insecurities. I have been told by people that, you have to start training at a certain age, and if you don't, it's useless. You cannot pursue music as a career. So that demotivated me a lot, and I have these insecurities. I cannot really, when I see singers singing, I think to myself that, oh, I can never be as good as them because I never started training that early. So these insecurities are there, and I am trying to work on them so that I can, enjoy singing instead of having these thoughts crowd my head.
That's right. Well, let me tell you that what people are telling you is not true. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the album that I recorded some vocals on today, my friend is actually a percussionist. He's amazing. His name is Varun Venkit, and he's a percussionist and drummer from Pune, and he's writing this brilliant album. Now, Varun was not primarily a singer, and he has a nice voice. He has a pleasing voice, but he's a drummer. And it's just been a month and a half since we've been doing sessions, and that also not regularly. We've met about 4 times. He sounds like a singer now. Anybody would say that when they hear him. So the question is that, he's my age. He's probably much, much older than you. And he started now. I mean, he started working on making it better now. He already sounded cool. But it's never late, because all the research says that singing is innate. So it's never late to develop your voice. And I want you to think about your artistry. How would you like to express yourself? Because, sweetie, there are great artists who are not necessarily great singers, right? So you don't have to put that pressure on yourself. There are some people who are like Adele or Christina Aguilera, and then there's been Bob Dylan in our history, who a singer would not call a singer, but he was powerful. He changed people's lives. He's evergreen. And so, you want to think about what you're giving to the world. Your message is much more powerful than what trills and frills and all you're doing, because that can fizzle out. And there's too much of that, there's a lot of that. So don't be afraid, and don't let them affect you. And I'm here to talk to you whenever. But I believe that if you want to do it, you can crystallize your message to the world. And that's important. There's gold in that. And eventually, when that becomes clear enough, it's going to convert into a career. It's going to convert into a profession, into earnings, into stability, everything.
This has been a really, really insightful talk, and you've been a wonderful speaker, and um, it's given us both philosophical and musical insights into your life. So, thank you so much for being with us today.
Just thank you for having me over, and it was really nice talking to you. And I hope to get to do this again.